And we made it. It's time for Power Hour. That's how I felt the past couple of days, man. It's been feeling good. Markets are coming back. It seems like our markets are heating a little bit back up. Even though the QQQ and SPY are making new lows, we still have our eyes on 5 really good looking stocks. Actually, there's more than 5 here. But welcome everybody. What's up, YouTube team? What's up, online team? And what's up to the sniper team? How's everybody doing? It is Power Hour on Tag a Bag Tuesday, and we're looking to make some money to close out the day. There is one stock we already bought. I sent the alert out with my team, but 8-1 is the spot we got, and we're looking for that gap up. This is actually a metal stock, aka actually a copper stock to be exact, and it's a stock that's creeping up to 52-week highs. It has former gap ups, but there are days it doesn't follow up, so nothing's guaranteed here. But we do like the spot. We like the cut. So we went after it at 81 down there. And we'll talk more about what I'm looking for when I'm looking for these plays. But I just wanted to dive in and show you something that I'm looking at right away. And then there are going to be a group of other stocks we like. One of them being this BTQ, which created a really nice dip and is already bouncing. But BTQ is a quantum stock. The reason why it's up really nicely today, 12% on the day and making new month highs, is because there's another quantum stock that's partying right now. BTQ is known to follow up. We've played this a couple times where it followed up for us. But QMCO, huge gapper in the quantum sector. So it makes us definitely want to keep our eyes on that. Without a doubt. So two quantum plays. One of the CRCL is a decent watcher, possibly break here. Hold on one second. What up, RJ or RBJ? But instead of circle, I'm going to keep my eyes on QMCO and BTQ for quantum. We also have Hertz HTZ. Hertz has been a decent runner lately. It's holding 245, 250 support. It's actually testing it right now. And if it does hold this again, we've seen the last time it holds support into close, it gapped up really nicely. So that's ideally what we're looking for, the gap up possibly from 2 to 240. And for this, it would be 240, 250 up above 270. But nice watcher in Hertz, and I'm going to put this on my overnight watch list. And then the last two stocks I think I like that are pretty decent here for overnight watchers. We have OPTT. I've played this stock before and really actually bagged it pretty nicely. But it's a former runner. It's got a couple gap ups in its past, and that's usually what we like. This used to be like it's an ocean drilling company. Pretty interesting company there. But OPTT, oh, look at our LBCMF coming back to highs. Love to see that. Love to see that. Already up about 150 on that one. So already getting a nice cushion here for all you guys out there that was able to grab that LBCM with us. Let's see if it can keep pushing or not. But nice start there at least. High a day is what, 85. So we'll see if it could push that. It looks like there's some sort of buyer that popped in. Usually I like to watch those buyers and sellers. Very similar to DNRSF that we played overnight. Very, very similar kind of situation here with the buyers and sellers. But the last two, so OPTT was one of them, and then the other one that I like is NLST. So two stocks that end with a T. But those are going to be my 5. If you're new with me right now online, welcome. I've been doing this now for 8 years. Typically what I look for is overnight plays or day-to-day plays that give me my personal advantage, which are only 5 patterns. And those stocks I just brought up to are placing the patterns I like. So now I'm going to make a watch list with those patterns, and hopefully we can find a winner. We did buy some LBCMF. It's trying to curl its way back to highs already, which is beautiful to see. We'll see if that can keep pushing. But let me see what else I can add to this list. ACB is not too bad, but yes. So Daniel, that's why I don't love it, is because of the big gap up to start the day. That definitely makes, for me, in my personal opinion, throws me off a little bit. But ACB is a cannabis stock, another one that we are watching. The cannabis sector looks pretty interesting because Curleaf said, hey, we might want to buy you guys for $4 a share. And it isn't even quite to $4 yet. So nice news on it and nice push this morning by ACB. But yeah, that gap up makes me a little nervous since it already made the gap up. Right, let's see what else we have here into the close. Let's see if LBCMF is able to break out. It seems like that big buyer's at 83. I can always sell and take profit and move on, but I want to see if we can push it a little higher. But yeah, Daniel, you're asking the right questions. You're asking the right questions. And then with ACB making that move, you definitely have Tilray, which is a cannabis stock, and we could have caught this early because this one actually was down earlier. So we had a chance to actually catch this one early. Down at 440, it spiked almost 10% from there. And then you have CGC that went to $1, which is another cannabis stock I like to watch. And then we had one more that created earnings that gapped up really nicely, OGI. And this one's actually still holding, so just like ACB, a pretty nice gap up. And then what's pretty interesting, you also have one yesterday that held, VFF. So there's like a group of stocks that was able to hold here that's pretty nice. In this situation. But all right, let's see what we got. Hertz did just hold that 250. Let me update my list. Just give me 2 minutes to update the list, but I just told you the 5 that I like. And this BTQ, I kind of missed the dip there. Came all the way back down to 430, almost back to highs. Really nice to see. LBCMF is testing high a day now, slash 52-week high. So let's see if it's able to get any type of push up there. It does look like there is a big seller up at 85. So I might actually try to sell some up there and possibly catch a dip. Let's see what it would do if I did that. All right. But let me update the overnight watch list. Just give me about 2 minutes here. And once I'm done, we'll see if we can make more or money off of more than just one here. Once I'm done with the watch list, we will review it together. And I do this every day with my team live in the Stock Sniper room. I'm trying to get to 4K subscribers on YouTube. So if you didn't hit that subscribe button and you're a part of the team, definitely go do that. I'd recommend it. All right, so this big seller at 85. We're going to see if it could break it. I actually decided to take a good amount of that sell just to kind of take some profit. And then I'm going to end up, I feel like we are going to dip back down to 81. That's just my opinion. Hertz is down here by 250. Decent watcher. But yeah, it's nice to start adding some wins up here to start up power hour. But Hertz still holding. So you can decide. The best thing about being your own boss is you can decide what you want to do with your shares, how many shares you want to buy. But I'm here to try to help you find which ones are moving on the day. And as you see, every single one I'm bringing up to you is usually up 10%, besides NLST, but that one has the potential to make a move here for sure. LBCMF keeps holding though. Looks like that big buyer keeps holding it up. What makes me nervous is when that big buyer disappears, it sometimes gets swiped. So I don't want to depend on that buyer. All right, so the list is officially done. Let's get it. Let's see what we got here. There's only 37 minutes left, and it looks like LBCMF is looking pretty nice by highs, but there are other stocks that we do like. So let's talk about them, and let's see what we got here to close out the day. And Tag a Bag Tuesday has a little more potential than yesterday, I would say. But we started the week off 2 for 2 with that lighter volume metal stock yesterday, and then also HGREF to start the week. And now we're after another metal stock. This one's actually a copper. So it's more of a copper stock. Interesting because copper did have a small run not too long ago. So I made a watch list for it. And this is another light volume copper stock. So maybe something's going on in copper. But LBCMF is a copper stock that's looking pretty nice. It's testing 85, which is pretty much the highest. There is a big seller there, so I did just actually take some at 842 from my 8-1, and I'll probably buy some more if it comes back down. But I do like the move there. The next group of play that we like, we got Hertz HTZ. This is actually Hertz rental cars. It fell all the way from 8 to 145 this year. Really big drop for Hertz. Hertz actually just recently got a spike after they came out with earnings. After holding for 2 days, are we going to make that next leg up? Shorts probably trying to short Hertz and getting squeezed here on this end of the day. So we'll see what happens. But definitely a decent watcher. And what I like to do is when I create this watch list every day, I'm going to put the stock, what the pattern is, and then what the stock is. And then from there, I like to put key daily support levels and daily resistance levels. And usually the daily support is where I'm trying to risk off of. So that's where I try to buy next to. So if you open up LBCMF, the support is 81 all day. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't update that correctly. But 81 would be the support, and then you have this 52-week breakout that it actually broke today, 8756. And that's what we'd like to see. The last three that we have on here, NLST, this is only up 3%, so a little more risky to take this one. But it is holding. If you have 410 as the cut, that's not too bad. But it has ran from 240 to 420 this week. It had news with Samsung. They were once suing Samsung. Now they're partnering with Samsung. But that has what caused this big spike. So nice to see NLST making a move. What else do we have? And then the last two, I put two other listed stocks. OPTT, which is a lower price stock. We've played it before and got a pretty nice gap up off of it. There are gap ups in the past, but it did recently hit 13 cents, 52-week lows. So very cheap listed stock. I'll keep an eye on it into the close. 20 cents seems a spot that it wants to keep holding. Then maybe we'll try just a little bit for a swing using that cut. And then the last, but certainly not least, at least what I picked was BTQ. There's more than this that's out there, but BTQ has former gap ups, so just looking for a gap up. It looks like it's just getting momentum because QMCO, the quantum stock, is up 65% now, making new 52-week highs after earnings, which really helps out that other stock. But let's see what we got. It looks like LBCMF is up to 845. So if you wanted to take that spot that we took, there we go. Somebody actually just took it. All right. Other than that, let's see what else we could find into the close here. Do you guys have anything that you guys like? I also like ACB and Tilray. I mean, I'm going to watch these into tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see. Nick tried a little NLST. If you stick to the cut there, that's the biggest plan, Johnny. Johnny, even if you get in it, just stick to the cut. Don't sit there and mess around. Alrighty, and that's really it. There's another OTC that I was looking at, but a little too risky. And it's a former listed stock that turned into a bankrupt stock, SGMOQ. Making new highs, but too sketchy for me. But that is a nice little chart, holding 13 cents, which is the breakout. Again, it's officially holding that spot. Pretty clean, but I'm going to stay away from it. Like I said, a little more risky. But yeah, ACB is still holding, which also makes Tilray as a holder here. So for LBCMF, I think I do like what I've got here. I don't know if I love the chance of that gapping right now if it does get a push back down. But if it comes all the way back down to 81 again, we'll scoop it back up. I think I'm going to take it. BTQ starters for Daniel. I wish I would have got that. I would have definitely went after it, but I didn't quite. But yeah, that's a quick way of just making yourself 130, or it's like 140 is what we just made really quickly. Slowly add all these up. You size your way up. That's what it's all about. This does have a chance easily to gap up, but it just came down to support. I was watching level twos. The level two showed somebody was there holding it, and that's why I liked it. But I always describe stocks as pitchers in baseball, and every pitcher, is going to pitch really differently. You just got to learn how to hit them. Same thing here. Stocks are going to move really differently. You just got to have to learn how to hit them. And we ran into an 85-cent brick wall as of right now, but we'll see if we can break that into the close. And what that brick wall means, 85 cents, if you open up the level two, there's big sellers there. So there's a good chance that it gets pushed down. No, I'm entering trades and watching, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. I actually send out alerts live with my team. It's on simplertrading.com under Stock Snipers. So if you ever want to come check me out, every single day we're trading live together. Actually 3 for 3 on the week now that we made a little money off this stock. And I'll probably get back in it if it comes back to 81. Now, all this action here is happening while the QQQ is having a pretty ugly day. So I love to see that. And then also we have these morning momentum plays that look pretty good as well. They've been running close to, 30+% in the morning. CELZ is a good example this morning. I'll bring it up in a second. QQQ and SPY. But CELZ tried to get going earlier, but it did spike from 115, 116. I had entries this morning, but I got scared of it. But it was able to spike to 145, crossed all the morning momentum lines that I personally like to have in place. So yeah, Sarah, every day we are sending out alerts, but we're also sending out watch list, and these stocks are on my watch list. Hertz was, what was the one I was just talking about? Cells was the morning momentum watcher. So let me see if I can find another morning momentum for you guys tomorrow to keep an eye on. See if we can find a squeezer for everybody to keep an eye on for tomorrow. I'm liking this NLST still too. This is a funny stock, FRTT. They just changed their ticker. They decided they're going to be a database company. And it's so funny what these companies do. This was a pest control company. And once they put some database news, they got a decent spike. So it's funny to see that. Not really one for tomorrow. Let me see if I can find any. SLN maybe. But as of right now, I really have SLN. You have that absolutely weird runner that just keeps getting halted every second today. But maybe later this week it could become a play. PLAG. This thing is up 1,000% on the day. It doesn't do anything but get halted. Definitely shorts are getting absolutely crushed right now. And sorry if you're one of those. I'm not here to talk down on you. But that is a huge push down. I mean, a huge push up and squeeze and a huge push down on your account probably. Honestly, the cannabis stocks are actually starting to spike a little more. We have MSOS, which is the ETF. And if you look at it, it just made new highs. It's up 5% on the day. It's actually a pretty decent green day. And all these cannabis stocks are starting to have good earnings. So we might actually keep an eye on cannabis coming up this week. I like the chances of it. If I zoom out, we'll open up some of these cannabis stocks that usually make a move when cannabis does. So you can see Tilray's up, ACB's up, OGI's up. Let's see if we can find other ones though besides these. Hold on. All this is happening as markets are making lows. With LBCMF still holding, it's pretty interesting. The other copper stock I brought up, CPPMF, just went to new highs. Super light volume, but another one that's kind of I wouldn't touch that one, but it just shows you some weird's going on with the copper stuff. Hertz is still holding its ground. I think I'm gonna stay away from Hertz overnight. And then NLST, I'm not exactly sure about this one. Just because it's it's not up the most here. So as long as it keeps holding that 410, you guys are whoever actually ended up taking it is still in place, but not really my favorite here. I think tomorrow morning it'll be a good one to be on the morning watch list for sure. So if you are in it, maybe you get that good spot and get that gap up. And that's what we'll see if can happen. All right, we've got 25 minutes left. Let's see what else we got here into the close. If you are an NLST, I would say you want it to close above 420. And then OPTT is starting to interest me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Let's see if it can break above 205 into the close. If you haven't learned the after hours alerts, I would recommend them here. You press add a drawing, put that right on there. You add that drawing, and then you put create alert with drawing. I'll do it one more time, a little slower. So you press right click, add a drawing, price level. Once you put the price level in, you right click, create alert with drawing, crosses above, for crosses above. But this 205 has had a decent seller there for a while. On OPTT. For BTQ, I feel like I missed my dip. I want it to come a little closer to 435 if I try it. Tilray is coming to new highs. So let's bring up some of these OTC. Whoa, did ACV just get halted? Oh, boys and girls, it did. Wow, so ACV just got halted. What in the world? Yeah, I would be. I mean, I'm not in that, but if you are in it, you're gonna have to wait a little more riskier. It looks like they moved their buyout to $5. We'll see what happens. A little harder for me to touch cannabis now, but maybe we wake up to some huge news that really gets it going, and that would be beautiful. The stock that it does have news with is CURLF. And honestly, Tilray's looking pretty nice. CURLF's up to $10. It's an OTC stock. This is actually Curaleaf. It's coming up to 52-week highs. Or I guess not 52-week highs, but it's coming up to 1040. I'm not going to risk it on these, like Himony said, with the buyout stuff. But ACV getting halted mid-power hour. Some of the other OTC cannabis stocks we have are CRLBF, but super light volume. But it's also making new highs. I always like to look at GTBIF. We have one that just went listed that used to be an OTC Trueleaf. See GTBIF making new highs. Trueleaf TRLV. So pretty interesting. Do I want to try one of these overnight to hold my way in? I'm not sure. NLST keeps holding that 410 spot. Like I said, that would be your cut if you do like it. Hertz is coming back down. I'm going to stay away from Hertz. We can take this one off the list. Let's start focusing a little more on cannabis. if we are going to try it. I don't know. We'll see what happens after the halt. The good thing is there's plenty of other cannabis stocks. So if this unhalts after hours, let's put our alerts in because it'll alert you. Right click it, add drawing, boom, right click that, create alert with drawing. Same thing on the way down. And we'll see if something starts to really get going after hours. I would be ready with some of these other listed stocks that I just brought up to you. So create a watch list of those. We'll see what happens. But I love when something is boiling in the markets. And it seems like that's what's happening here. We'll find out. Hopefully the news goes through and it helps out the whole sector. But I'm not going to jump the gun on it just yet. ACB. I would also put it on your news watch list. So we did that 2 days ago. If you were with me on Monday, we added a news watch list. You can actually get news alerts to your watch list. So go to your morning momentum and put ACB in there because that's the one that has the news alerts. And I'm going to make a YouTube video about that coming out tomorrow or Thursday. But it's just going to have adding news to your watch list. I wouldn't add them to every watch list, just a very small one you want to keep an eye on for the big runners. So I added ACB on there so I can get alerted whenever it unhalts. But we'll wait to jump the gun on cannabis. I'll be ready. I know a great list of cannabis stocks. So I'll be ready when the time does come. This OPTT is getting pretty tight there. Kind of like it. And then if you do like LBCMF for a gap up, it still looks good. That 81 would be your cut, but 85 seems pretty heavy. The cannabis stock I just brought up, VFF, is making new highs. The one that gapped up after earnings, VFF. So cannabis is seeing some noise. Nice. So LBCMF is coming down a little bit. So nice little move there, guys. Making some power hour money. Adding it up. Usually I look for big gap ups, but summer trading has definitely been a little bit slower. And we're slowly starting to see things come back. But at the same time, we're having a pretty ugly day in the SPY and the QQQ. Not ugly compared to what we did last week. We had such a great bounce. So harder for me to trust. Space stocks had a decent bounce. There was one in particular that we've been watching, Sea-Doo and Lunar are usually the two we watch, but Sea-Doo is having a great day again. So, I mean, if you like that first green day, that's also typically a first green day pattern, but it's been creeping up since 2 now. But space stocks are holding around. Rocket Labs had its earnings and actually came down yesterday. Rocket Labs is the larger price, I always say the sector leader to space stocks, but it was able to bounce after gapping down, after actually had a record-breaking revenue with all these rocket ships going on. Let's see if OPTT can get above 206. That seems to be a rejection spot. All right, we've got 15 minutes left into the day. If you like one of these stocks, the goal is you're buying close to the support and hopefully tomorrow or whenever you want of selling at the resistance or above that. When it comes to a listed stock, that's going to move till 8 p.m. Eastern, so we can keep an eye on those for a little bit, like Hertz and BTQ. And then when it comes to the OTCs, like NLST and LBCMF, that's going to close right here at 4. So you got to make that decision in the next 13 minutes. But that's what I like about the OTCs. That's where I feel like it's a benefit. Because when things close strong, they typically open strong. And a good example of that was over the weekend, we had HGRAF. It's still holding in place. It didn't quite move, but from the over the weekend, it was able to spike from 450 up to 530. So definitely was a nice bag to start the week. No better way to start a Monday. I always say let's make Mondays fun again. That was one. And then I got a panic watcher in AMFN. This is a penny stock that actually started to really fall. Typically when these fall, we call them panics. The panics are huge percent drops in a short amount of time. This one fell from 15 or 16 cents this morning to almost 10. So pretty big drop. I thought it was going to fall below 10. That's what I was rooting for. If it does fall below 10 tomorrow, we look for like 11 cents or so. I mean, not 11 cents, 8 cents or so for that possible panic pickup. NLST is trying to curl into the close. So there we go, Nick. You're getting a little bit of curl action. Like the look of that. I don't know if I'm going to take any, but let's see if it can break 422. I like this OPTT a little bit. I'll probably watch it after hours. If it could break 206, it seems like a spot that maybe can go. And then, yeah, NLST if you like it. That's not bad. LBCMF if you like it. You guys be your own boss on this one. I would say whatever you do buy, just stick to your cut no matter what. Yeah, NLST was fluky last time. I think I'm going to stay away from it. I'd rather enter if it does break out in the morning. Playing a little more safer. These cannabis stocks are going to be huge watchers tomorrow. If something really happens there, we usually like to play those, and we know how to play them pretty well. So I'll be watching closely into those. We have Tilray making new highs into close, which definitely helps out the look of cannabis, TLRY. Where's CGC at? MSOS just made new highs too. Something's going on here. Let me pull up some of these cannabis stocks. Jesus. Something's going on into the close. I don't want to jump the gun on anything, but it's cool to see. It's nice to see into the end of the day. I'm going to wait for tomorrow to see if something can really get going, but definitely love these cannabis. NLST, nice close here. Let's see if it could break into the end of the day. There we go. The mission's on. But like Nick said, you kind of have to be a little careful because of the way that it kind of closed last time. It was interesting. I like it though. I'm going to try to gap it a little bit since we're going to the close here. And we'll see what happens. So new highs into the close, which is cool to see. Shorts are definitely nervous. I like the cannabis stocks too. I'll watch them after hours. Maybe we can get some action there. Those are always fun to watch. All right, we've got 10 minutes left. The breakout spot here was 424, so that's what you want to see it close above. Right now, it's pretty much right at that spot. OPTT didn't break 205, so I'll keep an eye on that after hours, and then these cannabis stocks will definitely watch after hours. I'm going to put an after hours alert for MSOS as well, because maybe something can get going there. And let's see if NLST can come back to highs into the close. Just touch new highs. We'll see if it keeps going, though. If you guys like it, that is an OTC breaker. It's a former huge runner. It's got the news with Samsung. And it's closing up by highs. Let's see if it can break high day into close. It had one nice dip here. Was our last entry for a really nice dip before the close. And then since then, look at power hour. So what I talk about with OTCs closing strong, shorts get screwed, and then you have the possible chance of a gap up. Hopefully create some news or something like that. But nice start. That OPTT still hanging around too. Keep an eye on that one. Pretty interesting one to watch into close as it keeps holding. So OPTT and NLST. I'm going to stay away from LBCMF. We're going to take that 135 that we made and we're going to move on. Nice. NLST is trying to make new highs into close. I'm not going to move my last bid up on it. But if you guys want to get it, you can. Like I said, be your own boss here. CGC is coming up to highs with that 99-cent hold. The cannabis play into the close. We're going to have some stuff to watch after hours. Nice, strong close by NLST. Skipping over highs here. But we've got 5 minutes left. This is usually when we say looking for the buzzer beater close. Let's see if it gives us a push. It's already gave us a nice push into the close. Let's see if there's more to it. There's a buy that just came in at 430. So we'll see if that can hold its way up. Sorry, that's my dog snoring. LBCMF is going to close up by highs. So if you are still in that, there's a gapper possibility as well. I knew we were going to have some action this power hour, and we came to power hour and we had some action. Nice to see. Hopefully these end up pushing if you are in them overnight. We still got a couple minutes left, but if you're in an OTC, it's going to close right at 4. So you want it to close strong, like NLST and LBCMF are right now. And then for the cannabis plays, we'll just keep an eye on them after hours and see if there's any movement on them. So we'll have some stuff here to watch after hours, which will be fun. Hertz did kind of fall out, but I'll still watch that one. But it was my least favorite, I'd say, out of all of them. If you don't love anything, tomorrow morning, we've always got new opportunities to keep your eyes on. So no worries at all. It looks like OPTT's given up here, so no need to hold on to that. Broke even there. I was thinking about maybe swinging that, but I'll watch all these after hours and just see what we can happen here. In the summer, it's always, or not always the summer, but I would say in times like these, I like staying safe. And LST is going to close up by highs. For you guys that did take it, we'll see if it can keep pushing into the close. 2 minutes left. MSOS is holding up by highs too. I love that. Love it, love it. Hopefully tomorrow morning we open up some huge news from ACB, and that gets other cost cannabis stocks going. All right, OPTT back to 20, so nice patience. Hopefully NLST dips back down a little bit. I might try to add if it comes back to like 415 right here really quickly. Let's see how far it could drop. Two-minute warning. ACB just came out with more news. What does it say? Okay, they're still waiting. Wow, OPT just got a huge buyer. The heck is that? I don't know what the hell that was. But there is a huge buy that just popped into OPTT, so keep an eye on that. NLST, nice close. I was able to get a little bit at 422. Other than that, that's what we'll see. We'll close out. I don't know what just happened with OPTT, but there's a huge buy that popped in. So watch that after hours. If you were a fan of this and you liked it, we're doing this live every day. If you're on YouTube Live right now or if you're on social media, come join us. We'd love to have you a part of the team under Stock Snipers in the Simpler Trading website. Only $7 for your first time. First month, actually. A full first month. But all right, keep an eye on cannabis overnight. Keep an eye on the rest of the plays we played. Good luck if you did try one of them. Let's get a gap up for all of you. And let's keep taking it one day, one trade at a time. NLST, nice close. It looks like it wants the gap. And same with this huge buy on OPTT. I have no clue what's going on there. So keep an eye on that. All right, y'all. There is the bell. And we're out. All right, y'all. One day, one trade at a time. Much love, team. Online team, YouTube team. It was fun. iPod, Fries Media. What up, buddy? It is pretty much a penny stock service. I mean, not really. It's an education service. We're all just here trying to make each other better. That's the goal in life. So it's just a community making each other better. and making some money along the way. And that's what we're trying to do. All right, team. Much love. I'll see you guys next